Hey friends, so I was asked by my friend Carrie, hey girl, how I did my tassels. I just sent her some birthday mail and I had included some of my little thread tassels on there and she was asking for a tutorial. So I'm going to show you how I create mine. They're really simple. You're just going to need a pair of scissors. I'm using the DMC Floss here. I just have a whole box full of different colors kind of crammed in here together. So you're going to need whatever color you would like. And then a piece of chipboard, cardboard, old gift card. We can use this to wrap our tassels with. So I've used a gift card. I also have a template for the tassels as well, but using a gift card is super easy because I already have one of these to use with my washi tape. So let's see. Let's do this pretty blue here. So you can do multiple colors if you want, or you can do a solid color. For this one, we're going to do a solid color. And there are tutorials where you can literally take your full thing of DMC floss, fold them over, and create your tassel. I make mine a little bit different. Now, if you want to use the full thing of thread to make your tassel, you definitely could do that. But I usually like to make multiple tassels out of one of the things of DMC floss. I got a little knot in this one. There we go. All right, so then the next thing you need to decide is how long you want your tassel. So do you want your tassel to be long or short? So you can make your template the size that you want your tassel to end up as. So I'm going to use the longer side because I always trim it a little bit anyway. So all I'm going to do is take the end of my DMC floss and I'm going to let it hang over the top a little bit. And then we are going to just wrap it around. And I like to hold it in place for a couple of turns. And then you could kind of let it go and start wrapping. And you want to make sure that piece stays over. And then you can make these as chunky or as thin as you would like. So you just keep wrapping until you get to about where you like. So let's just stop there for this one because I do have another knot. And you want to leave a little bit of that thread overhanging. And this is going to be the bottom of our tassel. So we want to put these that are hanging off the bottom here. We want to put that towards the bottom. And this is going to be the top of your tassel. So let's see if I can undo my knot really quick. Then you're going to want to take a piece about 12 inches or so for your top of your tassel. And if you want to add beads to these, then you can make your piece a little bit longer. And then I just add my piece under the one layer here. So I just add this underneath of my tassel. So I just pull this up from my template, add it underneath, and then I bring it up to the top. There's many different ways to do this. This is just what works for me. And then I'm going to go ahead and tie a knot. And double knot it. And then I have my tassel secured together and you have a little string here at the top. And then you're just going to go in and you're going to trim as close to that bottom as you can. Just trim that straight across. And then we're going to end up with something that looks like this. And here's a great time to kind of maneuver your two ends to be as even as they can be. And then I like to go back and make sure my knot here is nice and tight. And then you're going to need another piece of thread. And I like to lay my thread out on my work surface. And then I'm going to lay my tassel down on top of it. And then all I do is tie another knot to form my little part at the top of my tassel there. To form that little bump out. And I tie it a couple of times. And none of my tassels are ever the same. Like, I always make different tassels that look a little bit different from others. You can see this one has a little bit of a hole there. So I would probably use this side of my tassel. And then what you need to do after that is really simple. We are just going to trim our tassel. We're going to give it a haircut. So I like to use my fingers and kind of flatten out my tassel. And then I'm going to just trim it. And then you can just keep working at this. If you see any pieces that are too long and you want to trim them up, just work on giving it a haircut. And then once you have it the way you want your tassel to be, your length, you could cut this shorter, you could keep it long. It doesn't have to be perfect. Then you can decide if you want to do anything special with this part. So if you want to grab some gold thread, you can take some gold thread and wrap this part. If you don't want to see the blue, so you could do something like that and keep wrapping that around a little bit. Or I usually just leave my tassel as is. So this would be my completed tassel. And I have the little knot here, and that's just hanging down with the rest of my tassel. So that is how I do it. So let's make a smaller one together. I hope this is making sense. But then you could add beads on this if you wanted. Or if you're going to add like a jump ring on this, I will snip this off pretty close. And then I just kind of work it around so that this cut part is in the middle of our tassel here. So you don't see those threads sticking up. They're inside of that hole there. And then you just add your jump ring right here, and you can hang it on your projects. So let's do a small one really quick together. Let's do a yellow one. These are good colors for summer. You also could use your hand for this. You could also just start wrapping this around your hand. You could do, if you wanted a really small one, let's do a really small one. All right. And then we're going to get our tail here. And we're just going to repeat those steps. We're going to feed this string underneath. It's a little harder to do this with your fingers, but you can do it. And then what I'm going to do is grab my two ends. I'm going to make sure that I'm holding on to my two ends here, and I'm going to slip this off of my fingers, and then we're going to go ahead and tie off our little hanging string here. All right, and once our little string is tied off, we can go ahead and add another string for our little bump. And you could put this as close to the top or add a bigger bump. That's all preference. I like to put mine maybe like a 1/2 inch or so down. And now that we have that, let's hold this string up here, and we can go ahead and separate our pieces and give our tassel a little haircut. All right, and there we go. We have a little small tassel for a small project, and we have a larger tassel here for a larger tassel or a larger project. So I hope you found this helpful. Carrie, I hope this helps you create some tassels for your project. So thanks, guys, for stopping by and checking out this quick tutorial on how I create my DMC embroidery floss tassels. All right, guys, have a wonderful day. Bye.